So we're going to talk about broker salesperson relationship. A lot of stuff should be familiar because we covered that in the national portion. Offices and branches, trust accounts and record keeping, advertising, interstate property sales, and professional organizations is what we'll finish this chapter with. Okay, guys, try to keep the questions specific to what we're going to go over so we don't deviate from it. Okay. So questions about exams, questions about fingerprints, question about everything else. We'll address it later if there's time yet. All right. Employment status. Salespersons must be employed by a broker. You already know that, right? But employed not as an employee, regular salaried employee, but employed by as an independent contractor. That's why you receive only compensation from that broker, and usually as an independent contractor. Okay. As a contractor, independent contractor, you cannot be strictly controlled, meaning I cannot ask you for certain hours. I cannot ask you for certain dress code at workplace. I cannot ask you to attend meetings. I cannot ask you for anything. You're independent. So it's on you. I'm responsible for guiding you, but I cannot demand of you. Does that make sense? Okay. You got to pay your own income tax. You already know that because you're 1099. You do not get company benefits like health benefits. We cannot provide that. And your compensation is commissions only. There's an employment agreement. So for you to start working for somebody, this is why you have to start interviewing brokerages and understand what they offer, because whatever they offer you must be in that employment agreement. Both of you must sign the employment agreement, and the agreement has to cover how much you're going to get paid. So before you start working for a broker, it says, here's your split. Okay. Also, a promise that they'll pay you within 10 days of the closing or as soon as the funds clear. Because sometimes, usually your fault, because you're the one that attends the closing, sometimes you forget to bring the check right away. Just one of those things. You hold on to a $10,000 check over the weekend. If you close on Friday or if you close on a Saturday, run to your broker, give him the check. Okay? The clearing process starts on Monday. If this was a Friday, clearing process starts on Monday because it's banking hours, right? So the broker has 10 days to give it to you, calendar days from the closing, but it should clear within that week because usually that's what it is, 3 to 5 business days, worst case scenario. Most of our closings have cleared overnight, most of them. There are some banks that take a little bit longer, but most of our are clear overnight. Some brokers even have direct deposits. Some brokers pay you only on the 10th day. That's how they set up. Some brokers say, hey, we only make payments on Thursdays. It's the way they set up, but they have to tell you that it's within 10 days of closing. Okay. We try to pay you the same day that we receive it because almost, I think 99.9% of all these closing checks clear. Okay. There might be a small chance that it bounces back for any reason, but the majority of them clear. So we receive it, we give it to you. Okay. Most brokerages nowadays works something like that as well. Compensation payable following termination. What this means is when you leave, how much are you going to get paid for the transactions that have been pending? See, you left, so you're not an active agent, but I'll still give you something or nothing. It all depends on this clause, and everybody has to read that clause. From brokerage to brokerage is different. The reason why a lot of agents are tied to an agency is because they know if they leave, they lose their commission on the deals that they've been working. Okay, so they stay there for years until they're really fed up. Okay. Broker supervision, you guys already know the broker is responsible for everybody. Compensation. The broker's compensation is specified by listing agreements, payable at closing, and we got 5 days to deposit funds. If we don't deposit funds within 5 days, what is that considered? Anybody? If we don't deposit the funds within 5 days, business funds or agent client funds, I'm sorry, within 5 days, what is that considered? Nobody? Stealing. You never heard of commingling? It's called mixing funds. Commingling. You got 5 days in New Jersey to avoid commingling. Any funds that come to your possession, you got 5 business days to deposit them. If not, it's considered commingling or mixing your personal funds with somebody else's funds. Okay? Commingling is illegal. And if you, don't worry, Nadia, I understood. If you use that money, what is it called? If you use the money, so you got commingling and then you use the money, which is mixing. Now that you mixed with your money, you use it. Somebody else's money. What is that called? Don't look through your notes. You got to know this by heart already. Theft. You guys are funny today. Fraud. Yes. Illegal. Yes, but that's not what it's called. Conversion. Commingling and conversion. Commingling is mixing funds. Conversion is using those funds. You converted from somebody else's funds to yours. You use them. All right. You already know you got to be licensed to receive compensation, so we skipped that. We did talk about the 10 days, so we skipped that. If you leave the agency, the broker has to do an accounting of everything they owe you. They have to do an accounting within 30 days. So New Jersey says, you left our agency. We have deals pending. I have to, within 30 days, I got to give you a projection of what is owed to you if everything closes. Okay? I got to do it within 30 days. Okay? We already talked about referral agents. All right, rebates. Can anybody tell me what a rebate is? Like, forget real estate. What is a rebate? I'm going to ask a lot of questions, so make sure you're with me, please. Giving money back is a rebate. All right? In real estate, we can give money back. To whom? New Jersey says we can only give money back to buyers, specifically residential buyers. We cannot give money back to the seller. Okay? Only to buyers. It's a 2009 law that allows us to give money to buyers. Okay. And you're probably thinking, why would I give money to buyers? A lot of realtors, a lot of brokerages do this as a marketing strategy to get more people to the door. So, hey, buy with us. You got to come up with 3%, 3.5% down, but I'll give you 1% of my commission towards your closing costs. That's a rebate. I'm going to get paid. If you use me, I'm going to get paid 2.5. I'll give you 1% of my commission if we get to close. Okay? It's an incentive to get more clients. Now, I personally do not like that because you get known as the discount realtor. I don't know if you ever heard this, but as soon as you start giving discounts, people are always like, that's it? Give me more, right? Okay. So, if you are doing a rebate, you must agree to the terms in writing right at the beginning of the listing term. You must disclose the rebate to all the principals and the lender. And you must recommend the buyer to obtain tax guidance regarding the treatment of this for taxation purposes. Because if it's a rebate, it's income, right? If it's income, you're going to pay taxes on this. So yeah, I'm giving you money back, but you got to pay taxes on it. So CPAs. Price fixing. Do you guys remember this? What is price fixing? We had price fixing. We had market allocation. Right? We also talked about I lost the words. No, go ahead, say it. No, it's not that. Colluding, so collusion, we talked about collusion as well. These are parts of the antitrust acts. The Sherman Antitrust Act, the Clayton Antitrust Act. We cannot fix commissions or prices. Okay, that is making things a monopoly, a control. All buyers, sellers, and renters are entitled to negotiate the commissions. Remember that? They're entitled to negotiate. So price fixing is defined as two parties illegally colluding to charge the same rates or contract in the same terms. In brokerage, two or more firms charging clients a set commission or fee. So it's pretty much me saying, hey, let's see here, Louis, your agency, my agency, let's not argue about it. Let's try to make it a standard so we don't have to fight over each other. You make it 6%, I'll make it 6%. We don't fight. Don't go lower. I won't go lower. This way, we get our fair share of the market versus people just going to you and you, in a way, actually lose money because I'm still going to charge more improved. Why? I'm better than you in that sense, right? So we cannot make it as a standard rate. In fact, what is the standard rate in New Jersey? Does anybody know? Standard rate of commission? 5%? What is the standard rate in New Jersey? Negotiable, okay? For all of you answering a percentage, you did not hear what I just said and you're not reading what I just read. If you tell me 6%, then you're quoting a standard rate that does not exist. Commissions are negotiable. There is no standard. No standard. Negotiable. I just said that. The seller can negotiate with you and say, hey, I'll pay you 3%. It's up to you to take it or leave it. You can also say my commission is 8%. It's up to the seller to take it or leave it. You cannot say, hey, it's standard practice that we charge 6%. Everybody charges 6%. It's standard practice. The moment you start saying that, you are engaging in price fixing, which is illegal, and we're talking about $1 million fine. As a broker, huh? Do you raise commission based on how much the property is selling for? What do you mean? Like instead of 5%, charge 6%? Okay, no. I charge 6% plus because that's the type of services that I'm going to provide for you, whether it's a $100,000 house or $1 million house. Okay, so it's what I'm providing you, what I think that I'm worth. My services are worth for you. It's not a standard. It's my standard. It's not a community standard. If you want to pay less, sure. These are the services that I provide for less. You don't mind paying more? Great. These are the services I provide for more. Does that make sense? Okay. What if we agree the deal falls off, right? Yeah, I mean, nobody's obligated. That's why price fixing is illegal. Nobody's obligated to pay a standard rate. It's negotiable. And it's like any negotiation. If we don't come to an agreement, are you bound by it? No. Okay. All right. Next, branch offices and offices. Brokers must maintain a place of business in New Jersey. When it says brokers, sorry, what's going on here? When it says brokers, we're talking about broker of record. And I'm going by common sense. Do you think a broker salesperson needs to have their own place of business? Broker salesperson, do they need to have their own place of business? Think about it. They're a salesperson. A salesperson works at a place of business, does not own the place of business. Otherwise, they're the owner or broker of record. Does that make sense? So every time we say brokers here by itself, we're talking about the broker of record must maintain a place of business. Okay. In fact, they must have signage that conspicuously displays the broker's name. So before you get into the building, who is the broker? Okay. So Alexis, if you bring a client, you bring Fernando to the office, before Fernando gets into the office, he must see who Fernando can sue in case Alexis screws up on the deal. Okay. Which is normal. We are a bunch of screw-ups. That's why we have errors and omissions insurance. We're human. We're a bunch of screw-ups. Take it or leave it. That's what it is. All right. Nobody's perfect. There's always a chance that we'll screw up somewhere, even if unintentional. Okay. Bottom line. But Fernando's entitled to know who's responsible to oversee your screw up. Do you guys understand? All right. And I'm not trying to be offensive about it. It's just the way it is, especially in the beginning. All right. We're not born knowing how to walk. We crawl first. It's the broker's job to hold your hand and say, hey, come on, let's go, get up. Got it? So that broker is responsible. So the signage must say broker of record before you get in. You must have that sign on the exterior, and all the licenses for the licensees must be displayed within the office. All right. The office must have a discrete space and separate space visible from the street if it's a home office. Keyword, home office. Only the broker of record is entitled to have a home office. Only the broker of record is entitled to have a home office. Okay? Licensees, subordinate licensees may not have home offices. Only the broker of record can have a home office. Okay. Both offices and branch offices must have a qualified broker salesperson to supervise, a qualified broker salesperson to supervise the office, both of them. Okay. And in both of them, that supervisor must be there during normal business hours. You know why? Because if you have no experience, or if you have just some experience, and you show up at the office with a client, who's going to oversee you? Who are you going to ask questions if the client has questions and you don't know how to answer? Does that make sense? So the broker or the qualified broker salesperson is responsible to be there on a full-time basis. They cannot have a job anywhere else. All right, trust account. We already addressed the trust account and the fact that commingling, right, is the mixing of funds. We also talked about the 5 days already, right? Okay. I think this is common sense. Sorry. I think this is common sense where it says trust account regulation. You cannot withdraw the funds as cash. So let's say the transaction does not go through. The buyer, okay, let's say Nashra, you're the buyer. Nashra comes to me and says, hey, Bruno, I want to buy this house, put an offer right now. And by the way, here's $5,000 as a good faith deposit. Okay, what must I do with that money? She gave me $5,000. What must I do with the money? We have to put in the bank. Steven goes Atlantic City. That's what I would have done. Yeah. We have to put in the bank? We?
No, because they say the broker, they have to be a separate bank account.
Okay, but you said we have to put it. The broker. Licensees cannot touch that money. All they can do is say, hey, broker, I just received the money. Here, deposit it. Okay? Only the broker manages the trust account, or the broker's assistant manages the trust account, not the licensees. You cannot put in your account, which by the way might be a question in the exam, just saying. You cannot put in your own account, only the broker's account. Okay? Okay, and you got 5 business days to do that. So if there's 5 business days to do that, when should you give that check to the broker or the cash? Right away, because the 5 business days starts the moment the salesperson receives it. Okay. Good. Okay. Now, the deal did not go through. The deal did not go through. So what happens to the $5,000 that was put in good faith to go through? What happens to that money? That money is supposed to be given back to the client, but I got $5,000 cash. So I give $5,000 cash, right? Wrong. You cannot take cash out of the trust account. You cannot take cash out of the trust account. It has to be traceable. Receiving cash is one thing. To take it out, you need, yes, Jefferson, paper trail. So you need to be a check payable to that party. Must be a check payable to that party. Okay. All right, next. Record management. Okay. Record management. You are realtors, you're not singers, so that's not the type of record management we're talking about. Record management is you receive documents, what do you do with them? You have to keep them for 6 years, because state of New Jersey, the statute of limitations for lawsuits is 6 years. So you got to keep them in 6 years. Nowadays, and you can write this down, nowadays, because we have electronic e-signature and storage, as long as it's readily available, it can be online. If it's a physical copy, it must stay at the brokerage office without removal for 6 years, if it's a physical copy. All right, advertising. Advertising regulations apply to all means and media of advertising and to all forms of licensed activity. So any type of advertisement, any, it could be your Instagram, it could be your Facebook, it could be a TikTok, it could be a letter, it could be a postcard, it could be a verbal advertisement, any type of advertisement is regulated by this, okay? One of the things you need to remember is that if it's a broker's ad, it must include the business name. So the brokerage, okay? Followed by real estate broker, real estate agency, or realtor. If it's a salesperson advertising, you must include your name and the broker name, and this is brokerage, I'm sorry, brokerage name, in the larger font. I see a lot of business cards out there where the broker's name is tiny, and then they have, again, the whatever team. The priority is the whatever team. Wait, I'm sorry, who do you represent? You represent Remax. So it's Remax and then the whatever team. Does that make sense? It's Central 21 and the whatever team. It's Weichert and the whatever team. Okay, not the other way around. Websites not linked to the broker's site must include the broker's phone, and if linked, the web page must include visible link to broker's page. So if you have your own individual site, that's another thing that I see so ridiculous. You guys create your own page on Facebook. You create your own, or the fan page, the group page, whatever. You create your own Instagram for the business. You create your own whatever for the business. Here you are talking about real estate while a licensed salesperson attempting to get business. If it's just for consulting services, it's a different story. But if you're attempting to get business, then your broker's information must be stamped in every single advertisement. You open up your own website that says Bruno sells New Jersey. Great. Through whom? Bruno sells New Jersey through New Direction Realty. So there has to be a link to the main site. Does that make sense? We need to know who to sue in case Bruno screws up. Always link to the main site. Very important. Okay. This might be a question. You have to have, let's cross this one out because there might be a question in the state exam. You have to have a way of contact. Okay. When we say home or cell phone here, it's because of the home office, if that one exists. If the question does not talk about a home office, then you don't have to put a home phone number because I don't want nobody calling me a home. That's why I got business number, right? Ads must indicate, this is very, very important, must indicate the neighborhood area or municipality where the property is located. Have you ever seen ads that say, hey, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single family house near Edison? There are a lot of them, or they were actually, near Edison. Do you know Edison is one of the weirdest towns in Jersey? This is Edison. So you have an example. Sorry, Connie. But this is Edison, like something like this. And then you're surrounded by Metuchen. You got like a bunch of different towns, but there's a little thing here. This is Metuchen right here. Like you would think, let's cut this off, right? You make a wrong turn in Perth Amboy. Well, not exactly like that, but yeah, it's just you think you'd cut that little thing off, and no. Yeah. Yeah, with the dot of, that's what I'm saying. With the dot of Metuchen, I was right. See, Connie, I know, because I used to have an office in Edison, and then they moved closer to off for the insurance, and they moved closer to Metuchen right there at that spot. And here I am by Municipal Boulevard driving. You probably know where it is. Here I am driving, and if you're distracted, you pass that exit for the Municipal Boulevard, right? Distracted. All of a sudden, turn around, right? And I'm like, I'm seeing signs that say Metuchen. I'm like, no, I was just in Edison, right? But to turn around, you go back into Edison, and it's easier to come back through Metuchen, that little corner, right? Go back through Metuchen to get to back to Edison. It's the craziest thing. That's by your house, and yep, it's hidden. There you go. There you go. As soon as you pass the Crown Plaza, right? So yeah, I know what I'm talking about. All right, anyway. Any finance-related ad copies must include to a qualified buyer. Of course, you know that. It's all that those disclosures to a qualified buyer. And ads for free items. Guys, almost guaranteed to be a question. Ads for free items or services must not be contingent on entering into a sale or listing. All of these are potential questions in the exam. I'll let you know right now. Okay. Question. Can I hold a raffle? Can I hold a raffle for you to win something if you attend my open house? I didn't finish. If you attend my open house, can I hold a raffle? If you do. The answer is no. Okay, open house. Can I hold a raffle for you to win something if you attend a home buyer seminar? The answer is yes. Can I provide you dinner, free dinner, if you attend the home buyer seminar? Yes, if you attend the buyer seminar. Can I say I'll buy you a free dinner if you come to an open house and list with us or buy with us? No, it cannot be contingent, cannot be if a sale happens or a listing happens. If it's a home buyer seminar, make sure you remember, if it's a home buyer seminar, free dinner is okay. Did you get it? For those of you that actually participate in the classes and pay attention and not like everywhere, that might be an answer in the state exam, just saying. Remember, dinner and seminar, it's okay. Anyway, ads cannot offer free appraisals. You guys already know that CMAs are free, but appraisals are performed for a fee. Okay. Next, you already know commission rates are negotiable. You cannot display a sold sign until closing. You cannot discriminate. You guys know that. All right, Real Estate Sales Full Disclosure Act. When addressing out-of-state properties sold in New Jersey, out-of-state properties, there are exemptions to the act. So subdivisions with less than 100 lots, commercial properties, individual listings, or rentals, there are not timeshares. If it's more than 100 lots, 100 lots or more. If it's residential property, okay, if it's residential property, then you must file a registration application with for the property. So with the Bureau of Subdivided Land Sales Control, this is called POS, and it's not what you're thinking. POS is called Public Offering Statement. It's Public Offering Statement. You must file a POS, Public Offering Statement, when it's an out-of-state property that falls into 100 lots or more or residential. POS, Public Offering Statement, must be registered. Might be another answer in the exam, just saying. Public Offering Statement. Not only do you have to file that public offering statement, the offering statement must include a 7-day right of rescission or cancellation. 7-day right of rescission. This contract must allow for a 7-day cancellation. Okay. Moving forward, guys, we have the National Association of Realtors. You guys already know what it is. But New Jersey has their branch. Oh, what did I do? Oh, come back. What did I do? I pulled a Jennifer this morning and now I just did it again. Okay, here we go. So New Jersey has their own. It's the state branch of NAR. The state branch of NAR. Okay, so the way we have is the National Association, we have the state branch, and then we have the local branch, which is we're part of. For instance, we're part of the North Central Jersey Association of Realtors. There are others. Okay, there are other associations of realtors. We are part of the North Central. We here at our office. Okay, so it breaks down. They create standard transaction contracts, disclosure documents, and property condition disclosure forms. NAR offers educational designations like CRS, Certified Residential Specialist, ABR, Accredited Buyer Representative, and so on. So training, specific training that can help you develop your business. Okay.